I got into training really through training myself. You know, even when I was in college, and I really spent a lot of time working on my game. You know, I used to get up early in the morning time and go to the go to the gym. I used to get teammates up to go to the gym. You know, I used to get up and run around the school at 5 o'clock in the morning. You know what I mean? I had kind of developed a work ethic that kind of separated me from everybody else. You know, I never was really the most talented, but I always worked pretty hard. And so I got the job of coaching. When I graduated, coach gave me the job, assistant coach. And so in that process, I really didn't know nothing about coaching. So one of the things that I did know how to do was develop myself and develop players. You know, because I had a little experience in that. So coach gave me the opportunity. He didn't put a lot of pressure on me. You know, he just said, you know, I'm gonna let you let you go get out there, and you know we gonna develop you. And so
Head
one of
up.
the things I took it upon myself to start training all the players. So I would work out the players, and
Let's go, B.
I was pretty good at it. You know, I had started seeing results. You know, we was shooting a little better.
Dribble on that
You know,
side. Got
I
two
had
dribble on
started
that
seeing some
side too.
players, use a couple of my moves in the game. So I
Stay
started
with it.
getting a little confidence with it. And so
Switch legs, little man.
coach recognized the work. He knew that you need to work, because he probably used to
There you
do it
go.
back in the day. So he let me do a lot of, he gave me a lot of freedom. You know, he didn't give me no structure or nothing. So I always had freedom on how I can train. So I would watch and study a lot. You know what I mean? I would study a lot. And so at the so I did that for a while. You know, after I was doing the coaching. And so after the coaching, I ended up training a couple. So I ended up coaching like all SWAC players and Player of the Year and Defensive Player of the Year and all that. So I had a run doing that. You know, I had a run coach. I coached some good players. You know, most valuable player. You know, me and Alan Smith used to come get up in the morning time and the afternoon. Used to pull tires. Used to work. You know, he just the whole summer. He was a walk on. We spent the working, and he just outworked everybody. And the end of the year, he was most valuable player of the tournament. We won the championship, so it just lets you know how work. You know, you be consistent with it, it's gonna pay off. You know what I mean? If you work with the right mind frame, you know, you don't want to work with with a negative mind frame. That ain't gonna take you nowhere. You know, you just gonna, you might get better, but you ain't gonna never, you ain't gonna attract the right opportunity. You know, because you gotta be thinking positive also to attract the right opportunity, so you can showcase your talent before it can work out for you. So I kind of retired from coaching after I went to another school, and we won the championship over there, and I developed some players. Another story. So I started my own one. I wanted to find something that I can do that I was good at, that I can do that. I didn't want to coach no more. You know what I mean? But I knew I wanted to do something related to basketball. So I ended up getting into I started my own training company. You know, I ain't know who I was going. I ain't know none of that. And but I was researching. I was studying. You know, a philosophy that I later turned into. I later coined, or I later legendism. You know what I mean? So I started studying legendism real tough. I was on it real tough. And so during that time, and part of it is confidence in yourself, right? Like really like having confidence in yourself, like really having a dream, right? So I didn't want to coach no more. I wanted to have my own training company. I wanted to train, some of the top players in the world, and I want to make a living training. And so but part of the part of the legendism is stepping out on your own and having a little faith, right? So I want to test the faith part. I stepped out on faith and started a training company. You know, within within a couple weeks, I had I had a gym and a list of probably about 50 to 100 kids that I had the opportunity to train. Now I wasn't training all of them at one time, but I found the gym that had access to a whole bunch of kids, you know, what it was already in line with the knowledge that I was already on because I was attracting what I need to go forward. You know what I mean? I didn't have to worry about how I was gonna get it. It was attracting. You know what I'm saying? So I really grasped that. You know what I mean? When I got that gym because it was just out of nowhere. You know, I had a vision. I didn't even know I was gonna start a training company when I quit. But I woke up the next. I quit coaching. I retired from coaching. And so I woke up the next morning, I had a whole training company in my head, you know what I mean? So I just went with it. And so I was doing the training around Pine Bluff for a while. I was working in Pine Bluff. I was doing the training around there. And so within like, but then about a month, one of my best friends, Mo Williams, he was having he was, it was a lockout and he had a basketball camp scheduled he did every year in Mississippi. And so I was going down to work the basketball camp, you know what I mean? But if I was coaching, I would never had the opportunity to go down there, you know. You know, it was so time consuming, you know. That was one of the reason why I wanted to get away from it because I wanted to get some of my time back, you know what I mean? Not that I was gonna make $100 million with it, but I still wanted to be in control of it more than I was at the time, you know. And so I was doing I went down there to start training with Mo, did the work his camp rather, and so in that process, you know, I was a trainer, so I was down there working the camp. You know what I mean? I was really into it. I was doing a good job, I think, you know. And so Mo was like, well, you know, he realized I was kind of good, I guess, and you know, he was my brother, so he you know, he told me that he had an opportunity for me. You know what I'm saying? And it was during a lockout, so he didn't tell me that he was gonna bring me up there to work with him. He didn't tell me, but I'm just going with this knowledge that I get, you know what I mean? So I'm in synchronicity with myself. I'm in synchronicity with the universe. I'm in synchronicity with Big Mama, you know what I mean? So it was a sign, so I was just reading the sign. I was catching the sign, and so I ended up going to Hawaii with one of my friend girls. Went out to Hawaii, and we out there kicking, and I'm just like, you know, attracting good vibes, just meditating. You know what I mean? Just really on some spiritual. I was on my spiritual stuff, real tough during that time. You know what I mean? Like I was in like 5 different classes. I was doing workshops. You know what I mean? I was studying with all type of law of attraction people. You know what I'm saying? I had went to Michael Beckwith Church. You know what I'm saying? A couple times. I was intact. I was tuned in, man. I was living a dream actually. And so I'm in Hawaii, and so Mo called me from Hawaii, and was like, come back to to San Diego and train him. And so that's my first, I guess, client, you know, big time client, NBA client. And from there, man, I got to training with Mo, and he he really didn't let me do a lot of training at first. I would just catch the ball really and just pass it back to his ass. You know what I'm saying? But after a while, you know what I mean, I had been doing it for a long time at a high level, you know what I'm saying? So, and basketball is basketball, and I was good at it. So he started to notice that I was good and that I probably could help him. So he started, just kind of let me put the programs together. And so I started out training with Mo, man. You know, he was in LA, and I know, you know what I'm saying, that we had a good time. I know he got better. And so out there where I trained Blake Griffin. Blake was cool, man. Blake worked hard, man. One story I got about Blake was impressive was he was having an off day shooting, and there was a lot of kids in there. Not off day, you know what I mean? Pros you can't be off day in practice. So I mean, he had a couple hours, he had missed a couple shots, and he was so mad because there was kids in there. Like he was really mad that he was missing in front of them kids. You know, so he was like, man, I'm in here shooting terrible. These kids in here watching me, and I was just like, he was really pissed about that, man. I thought that was honorable. You know what I mean? And he was real good, man. You know, he was athletic, but he was real talented, man. That's one thing. He was humble. You know what I mean? Blake was a cool dude. He was a cool dude. Got to change. Jared Dudley used to come out there and train with us. He had another little partner that played with he played with, man, it been so long ago, man. I'm off guard. I can't really think right now. Eric Bledsoe was one of them. Travis Leslie, Trey Thompson, both of them got drafted by the Clippers during that time. Man, they had a training camp out there. It was a lockout training camp, so I got a chance to work with the whole Clippers team at that time, actually. So it was everybody was on that team. Man, I can't think of the dude's name. I can't think. But I know for sure that those were some guys I trained with at first when we was out there in California. And then when he moved, he got traded from there and he ended up going to Utah. I got a chance to train with Al Jefferson, Gordon Hayward, Alex Burke. You know, Paul Millsap at his house one time. Then he left there and he went to Minnesota, right? So I got a chance to train with Zach LaVine. Now he was in Portland. So in Portland, I don't know if I worked with nobody out there in Portland. Maybe Dame. I knew Dame real good though, but I don't know if I got a chance to work with nobody. I can't really think. But I know in Minnesota we had not Travis, but Zach LaVine trained with us. And a couple other guys. Then when he got traded to where? He got traded to Cleveland. I got trained to train that team. He was in Charlotte. I trained a big boy that played on that team. I forgot his name, but I trained him. So I've been, and then when we moved to Dallas. And so we got to Dallas, we was training a bunch of high school kids before they went pro. We started the Mo Williams Academy. And right then we had like Terrence Ferguson and Emmanuel Mudiay when they was babies. P.J. Washington when he was a baby. Isaiah Austin. Yogi was a baby. Malik Newman, Julius Randle was a baby. Malik Newman was a baby. We had, Phil Presley. He was young. We had, then we had like little summer. Back to grind weeks. And we had Draymond, Wesley Matthews used to come through. Jeremy Lin came through. M. Bingle used to play for the Los Angeles Lakers. Him and Andre Emmett, I used to train them every single day, and we would party every single night. Billy Preston was young. Jason Maxwell, that's my man name. Played with Mo out in Charlotte. Cool dude, man. Real cool. Darrell White used to come through. Perry Jones used to train on the regular. Trey Glider, Quincy Acey, Thaddeus Young. We had them guys, a bunch of guys, man. And then, so I did that for a while. Then I started focusing on the younger kids, like the younger generation. So I started focusing on the younger generation and, that's kind of where I am right now, man. It's kind of focusing on the youth. The fundamentals, man, is basically one of the main things that we like to work on. In training, one of the main things I focus on is the triple threat. I feel like every great scorer is a great triple threat player. You know what I mean? Because it's you don't got to use that many dribbles, and you got to be smart and reading your player. So you kind of taking what the player give you in a sense. And so it's like the essential, the essence to becoming a great scorer, to becoming a great basketball player to me. And I first learned it, I guess I say my second year in college. One of my best friends, Damon Wallace, he used to be telling me about this triple threat thing. That he used to be telling me that he figured something out. And because we used to compete against the dude, David Sanders. And David Sanders used to triple threat us to death. And we didn't really know what it was, but he was so effective with it. It was like what he had over us, you know what I mean? And so my boy Damon had figured it out. And so he beat me with it going into my sophomore year. And so after he beat me with it, I started paying attention. And so that summer, and going to that summer, I had got with this guy named Tim, and he showed me some drills to improve my triple threat. And so after I got the triple threat, I was working on it like every single day. And then my assistant coach, George Ivory, he started showing me a whole bunch of stuff with the triple threat. And so with that triple threat, I ended up like taking my average up probably like 10 points. You know, I started like averaging like from like 4 to like 12 or something. You know what I mean? So it ended up improving my game a lot. And so I was able to be effective with the pump fake, 2 dribble pull up, one dribble pull up. You know what I mean? I started like studying like Rip Hamilton and Jordan and all them other guys that mastered the triple threat, and Rip Hamilton and Reggie Miller, especially for coming off the screens, because I was developing into a shooter because I was a center in high school, and so I was developing myself at that time to a center. I mean to a shooting guard, to a wing, and so that triple threat, like I ain't had to use a lot of dribbles. I had a great point guard, so I was able to like, you know, just you know, minimize the dribbles and be effective. You know, so I think that's like one of the most important things that, you know, that's one of the basic things I'm gonna teach every player that I work with. We're gonna go to some triple threat work because you know, most players don't have a great triple threat. It's something they overlook, and most of the players that I coach, it was something that they really didn't pay attention to. You know what I mean? So it was like a weapon to their game that I added, and you know, it's so many ways to be effective, man. Like, you know, you can dominate players just off the triple threat. You know, when you get a little older and you start professional players, they limit your dribbles when you're playing them one-on-one. So it's a lot of one dribble game, one dribble, one dribble, two dribble game. So, you know, you might play the 5 and you know you got one dribble, two dribble possession. So the triple threat is one of the only ways you can be effective. So, you know, the triple threat is one of the most important things I think a player should work on. Shooting, you know what I mean? Like I mastered teaching the way that I got probably the easiest way to teach somebody to shoot. Like it's a system that I can just plug you in and you're gonna be successful in it. You know, so improving your shooting and, you know, holding your finger and the way you hold the ball, you know what I mean? Like all that stuff matter. Like I learned that, you know what I mean, being around NBA players. Like I caught Cal Korver on the elevator one day, and he gave me a list of like maybe 30 some things that he think about before he shoot the ball. You know what I mean? I like to call it a checklist. You know what I mean? So he had a 30 something, 17 I think it was that he checked off before he took a shot. You know what I mean? So that was impressive, and that was an interesting way of looking at the game. You know, so you know, make sure the ball had rotation and, you know, your feet being squared up, and, you know, it's a bunch of things that can help you become a good shooter. You know what I mean? Coming off the screens, you know what I mean? Coming off the screen, how to use the screen, how to use ball screen, how to use down screen, how to use cross screen, how to catch and shoot, how to shoot out the dribble. You know what I mean? How to shoot out all your moves. You know what I mean? You know, it's different levels to become a shooter. You know what I mean? Like shoot from the post, in traffic, fadeaway shooting, you know, step back. You know, it's a lot. It's a lot going into it. Each shot is basically different. You know what I mean? But it's the same. So it's just like a system that you gotta know and understand. Dribbling is something that, you know, I can show you some dribbling drills, but dribbling is something you gotta actually download. It's like one of the things that you gotta actually download. You gotta download dribbling. It don't come like everything else, you know what I mean? Everything else kind of comes to you. You can pick up. But dribbling, one day you know you can't dribble. You working on it, you know what I mean? It might be a month, and then the next day the ball just stuck to your hand, you know what I mean? It's a feel, it's a download, you know what I mean? It's something that I really know you gotta download the art of dribbling. It don't just come to you like everything else, you know what I'm saying? But you want to practice dribbling though. You want to practice dribbling, full speed dribbling. You want to practice stop and go dribbling. You want to practice your cone dribbling. You want to practice dribbling with your left hand. You know what I mean? Like that's something you gotta be able to go left and right. You know what I mean? Get into your shots. You want to, you know, when you're going through your moves, your dribble moves, go through everything right, then go through everything with the left hand. You know what I mean? You want to be able to go through every go both ways with each hand. You know, each drill both ways. You know what I'm saying? So focus on that, because the game is evolved now, man. You gotta know how to handle the ball. You want to be able to get, anywhere on the court, and the only way you can put yourself anywhere on the court is be able to handle that ball. Like they say, you can get anywhere on the court. That's because he can handle that ball. You know what I mean? So that's one of the things you want to focus on. One of the more underrated things that I think people need to work on and focus on is post-up game. All ages, all positions, all genders. Posting up is very important, man. It can separate you. It's a lot of people don't work on, especially not guards don't really work on posting up, and big men don't really focus on posting up no more. But man, it's an easy way to control the game, control the pace, get your teammates involved, pass from the post. Um, but the game used to be inside out, man. You know what I mean? And it's going back there one day. So, learn how to post up. And if you pay attention to any intense playoff game or any game that got any type of meaning to it, somebody controlling the post. Unless you the Golden State Warriors and Draymond point guard not the post a lot of times when they run their split action, you know what I mean? So it's a lot of the post is very important, man. It's very important. And you need to be able to finish around the basket, It help you with your layup package. The more you can post up, the better you can post up, the better your layup package will be. You have a feel for, them little short shots around the basket. And then work on your layup package, man. Being able to lay, man, I watched Kyrie and Mo Williams and Monte spend hours just on layups. So that's how important it is, man. Don't take it for granted. What you want to do step backs all day. You got to spend time on your layups, because you get to the rack, but you can't finish, you know what I'm saying? There ain't no reason getting there. But you got to spend time working on your floaters, your layups, your runners. That's another part of the game that you got to really focus on developing. You know what I mean? It's just it's so many different levels and so many different levels to the game. Passing, when I started training Mo, he would spend an hour on passing, and that was unique, and it was something I had never even paid attention to before. But he definitely would spend an hour on passing, and he did all type of different passing drills, and I watched his passing getting better. You know what I mean? Over of course his career, I watched his passing get better because he spent time on passing. And I don't know where he got that from, but that was unique, you know what I'm saying? So when I work with point guards, I spend a lot of time on passing, you know what I'm saying? So being a good passer is very important. You almost gonna always play. A team needs somebody that can move the ball. We lacking that ball movers. We got ball stoppers now. As a coach, the best passing teams win. The team with the most assists, they win championship mostly every year. Look it up, man. The the Golden State Warriors, when they on they run and they playing their best, they passing that ball around, man. They don't think they got a person on their team average 10 assists. They win by committee. They pass that ball around. They pass it around. So focus on passing, man. Focus on being a good passer. Spend some time on passing. If you can just master those keys to the game right there, you can play for a long time. You know what I'm saying? Just being a good passer, being a good screen setter. You know what I mean? Being a good boxing out. You don't got to get the rebound. Just box out consistently. Being a good shot contester, a good hustler. You know what I mean? Those characteristics of the game take you a long way. It's a lot of different ways to be a legend. And what I was saying is, if you work on those key fundamentals that I gave you today, you can play this game until you're 40 years old, man. 50 years old, like LeBron James. LeBron James is 40, right? But most people gonna say he's 6'9", and that's true. But Chris Paul ain't 6'9". Chris Paul still playing the game that long too, and he what? He 5'9". So, but what is it about Chris Paul? He's a great passer, great shooter, play at his own pace, solid fundamentals. He don't do no lot of stuff that he can't do. He just solid ways. Those just examples that you can use that, they'll take you a long way. Just be the best player you can be. Now my personal my personal favorite type of player is that overly competitive type of player. That joker that's gonna compete on every drill. He want to beat you running. He want to beat you on the bleachers. He want to win all the sprints. He want to win the shooting drills, the dribbling drills, the layup drills. You know what I mean? The one-on-one drills, the three-on-three drills. He wanted the weightlifting drills. You know what I mean? Those type of guys that they got that's gonna be great. I'm telling you, the guys just want to compete. He ain't worried about what you doing. He just trying to focus on himself being the best he can be. And that type of guy right there, man, is the type of guy you say you want in your foxhole if you finna fight somebody. You know what I mean? If you finna fight somebody, like you don't really care if he can. You know, the Joker got all the shoot the jumper pretty. He got good footwork and all that. That's like having no dude that knows super karate and all that and no judo. They can't beat you up like they want to. You can press charges on them because they hands are registered weapon. You know what I'm saying? You don't want them type of dudes. You want a joker that is fight. It don't matter if he can fight or not. He gon' fight. And that's the type of guy, my favorite type of guy to coach and work with and train. And because he really like a piece of clay, you can mold him into anything. You know what I'm saying? Because he's so eager to get better that you can just he gonna do whatever you tell him to do, and he gonna do it to the max. So those are the type of guys that you can take and turn into anything. So those my favorite type of players. And you know you just win with them type of guys, man. They ain't no ego. They gonna win. You know what I'm saying? You know when he on the court, he doing the best he can. You know what I'm saying? Those type of guys that I enjoy the most. One thing I know youngsters don't really pay attention to like they should is the knowledge and the understanding of the game. Like my book, like How the Legends Got Lucky. My second chapter is understanding of the game. The first one is legendary mindset, and I kind of spell out lucky, confidence, killer instincts in the years. But the understanding part of the game is the understanding, you know what I mean, the history of the game. Like if I ask you who was Clyde Drexler, or if Clyde Drexler was a three-point shooter, like most kids wouldn't know that. And that's something that you gotta know all them players, man. You gotta know all of them. You gotta watch all of them. You gotta watch all the legends. Everybody on that top 100 list, you gotta know them. And you gotta know their game because they you. You know what I'm saying? You gotta be able to know their game. See their strengths and their weaknesses. See why why Jordan used to beat them all the time. What Jordan had over them. You gotta wanna know that. You gotta wanna know that. That's important. That understanding that the knowledge of the game, watching film and like different levels, different phases of your life, how your game can transition, how when you young and athletic, Derrick Rose, Grant Hill, to when you get a little older, Derrick Rose and Grant Hill, and you got to play a certain type of way. How can you still be effective and how you still adjust after a couple injuries? You know what I'm saying? How you can, just watch all these other different players, man. They cheat codes, they downloads. You going through and you can just pick up all type of all their tendencies, and I can't even really explain all the benefits to it. And even watching old games, you know what I'm saying? You watch so many games, man, that you just start seeing what to do in situations. When you in this situation, what Jordan did, what Penny did, what Shaq did, what Isaiah did. You know what I'm saying? Like, cause you're gonna be in those situations. And if you don't got the experience of being in those situations, then you can live through their experiences. You know what I'm saying? Like I watched Jordan hit game winner so many times, man, that when it was my turn to hit a game winner, man, I just stepped into it like it wasn't nothing because I had visualized it so many times. And that's another part of the game, the mental part of the game that you got to focus on, is mentally preparing yourself to be a legend. Like staying positive all the time, visualizing yourself successful, visualizing yourself dunking, visualize yourself hitting 6 threes in a row. How many people that spend hours or 30 minutes, 15 minutes a day of just seeing themselves win championships or playing out the game they gonna play the day, the next that day, that night. Cause that was Jordan did. Jordan said before he played the game, he had visualized himself doing the moves, and that they always caught they led me on my quest to learn legendism, because I was trying to see what Jordan see, because nobody ain't really got to that mind level, that mindset, and that degree of mind power yet, in my opinion, basketball wise. Floyd Mayweather, on in the boxing world, is, I feel like he mastered his game. You know what I'm saying? Like he's at the top of it, that you can't beat him. You know what I'm saying? It ain't a lot of jokers that was able to master that, get to that mind, get to that level of confidence. And but visualizing yourself as successful is one of the major things that we're gonna talk about on this channel. Is using your mind power, and tapping into your flying ability and your superpowers, because I believe that we all possess them. And I done trained superheroes before. Jokers that got one eye. You know what I'm saying? The shortest Joker in the world, 5'9", but he can jump over. You know what I mean? I just seen all of them. So big Jokers, small giants. I wouldn't claim them all. So
Keep it going.
the one thing
Can't keep it going. You got
that the next level of this game is taking this thing. It's flying, man. Somebody gotta be able to fly.
switch, reverse. Reverse. Double between the same leg.
One of the
Then
major
double
things
cross over. Then
is
double behind back.
learning to work it.
Same leg.
You gotta learn how to work on your mind, body, and your game. Kobe Bryant, one of the best examples. Floyd Mayweather, great example. Kobe worked 6 hours a day. You know what I mean? So that's a blueprint. Like if you trying to be the best basketball player ever, you gotta at least work 6 hours a day. Like you can't compete. Never be better than Kobe Bryant. He's gonna have more hours than you, bro. He put more hours in at this game. Like, I don't know about nobody being born great, or God want nobody to be super. I don't really know about all that. I know this though. Whoever worked the hardest, that joker gonna be the best. If he worked the most on his game, eventually he gonna be better than everybody else. And he got the confidence, because you can
Wait,
work,
step out a little bit. I can
but
see
you
it.
don't never. You just can't believe that when you get in a situation you lack confidence. But if you
Make it
work
perfect
on
this
your,
time.
if you
Footwork,
work
the bottom.
6 hours a day on your game, another 6 hours a day on your
What's up?
confidence, just mantras and talking to yourself and motivational videos, and it's a whole bunch of breathe. It's a whole bunch of things that you can do to work on your confidence. If you work and you watch film, get an understanding for a couple hours, 6 hours a day. You know what I mean? No doubt you're gonna, if you your body, you in the best condition, right? Your body is in the best condition than everybody else. You done worked most on your game more than everybody else. Mentally, you got more confidence than everybody else, because you done spent 6 hours a day working on your confidence. Then you come back with another 6 hours of, you got a better understanding of the offense, they defense, they tendencies, what they gonna do in certain situations. Man, you
Quick,
hard to
come on.
beat. I'm telling
Come on,
you,
man. Come on.
the smartest player, the most conditioned,
Come on, man.
the most competitive
Two.
player,
That's 2, man.
the most skilled
10
player
seconds. 10,
gonna
9,
win most of the time.
8,
He gonna be unstoppable.
7,
I'm
6,
telling you.
5,
And
4,
conditioning,
3,
one of the
2,
most important things
1.
you can focus on,
And
people
then
don't
make
pay attention to. It's just condition, man. Like being in top-notch condition. Like, man, you'll be surprised how great NBA players are conditioned. I'm talking about the one that's on the bench is in more condition than you have ever been in your entire life. Just think about it, man. How fast they playing and how long, right? So just say 12. Bron played the first 12 minutes. The first 8 minutes, he up and down the court. up and down the court. Whether he go down there and he walk around and they go on the other end. You try to do that. You sprint down there, walk around. Now they don't walk around. You go sprint on this side, go on this side, chase the dude on this side, playing the screen and roll, communicating, then run down the other end of the court. You do that for 8 minutes, and you checking somebody on one end, and somebody checking you on the other end, bumping up against you, and you see how much you rebounding. I'm asking you to contest every shot. I'm asking you to contest every rebound. I'm asking you to, contest every dribble, right? I'm asking you to box out. I'm asking you to try to get the rebound, play defense. Then I'm asking you to go on the other end and score, dribble. Then I'm asking you to pass. I'm asking you to cut. I'm asking you to set a screen. Man, imagine the type of conditioning you have to be in